If I wasn't able to convince you that the real estate seminar business is the scammiest business model in part 1, then hopefully this video will convert you. If the behavior you'll witness from these scumbags upsets you as much as it upsets me, then I hope you aren't watching this video before a big first date. I'll do my best to keep it lighthearted, even though we're dealing with some of the worst fake guru behavior you'll ever see. Where we left off in the last video was the nudge defendants encouraging the consumers to call their credit card companies to increase their credit limits on the first day of the workshop. On the workshop's second day, the speakers typically encourage consumers to use one of a handful of third-party companies to secure additional capital or funding to do real estate deals. The speaker spoke about how the nudge defendants found a third-party company that provides seed capital for startup and household company names to help students obtain such immediate 0% financing to do deals. What's insane to me about this entire seminar operation is how everything mentioned is used as a mechanism to sell the consumers into an expensive product regardless if they're a good fit for that product. So here's what we did. We found a company that does startups and they do household names, the Aldis, the Subways, the 7-Elevens. The company itself is called the Nevada Company and they provide seed capital for business. Now here's the program. They offer our students anywhere from 50 to 150 grand just based on credit. Our average client in about a 5-minute process gets anywhere from 80 to 100 grand standing by, and that's not the best part. The best part is 0%. What's really frustrating to me is when you can see someone using manipulative tactics to con someone out of their money. I went to a Rich Dad Poor Dad event years ago, so I've seen the free training pitches in person, and it's crazy how good their template is for getting people warmed up to buy into their 3-day workshops. The sales guy on stage had all the secrets for getting rich in real estate, and then the next sales guy had all the secrets for getting rich in a week day trading stocks. After the event, I called my dad and asked him about it. Thankfully, he said, "Spencer, do not buy that crap." In fact, the third-party companies referenced by workshop speakers do not provide financing for real estate transactions. Rather, they simply apply for a half dozen or more credit cards in consumers' names. Keep in mind that people attending these workshops generally have zero experience in real estate investing, so someone mentioning that they have a company they partner with that can provide 0% financing up to $150,000 and you'll get funding in 5 minutes, how are you supposed to say no? Remember, everyone is ignorant about everything until you're taught to know better or you have firsthand experience. There's a lot of psychological triggers that take place at these seminars that very much influence people to make buying decisions by putting the participants in a highly emotional state. Logic and reason go out the door when you're acting on emotions. As with the nudge defendants' attempts to encourage consumers to raise their credit limits, the real purpose of encouraging consumers to seek funding through these third-party companies is to increase the amount of credit consumers have available to purchase one of the nudge defendants' advanced training packages. I don't have any data in front of me, but if the seminars are indicative of the average American consumer, then the advanced training packages being purchased on credit would immediately put a majority of the participants in credit card debt before they even have a chance to buy any real estate. They want the consumers to fail before they even start. The nudge defendants induced approximately 3,700 consumers to sign up with the Nevada Company from March 2016 to June 2018. The Nevada Company used by the nudge defendants typically charged consumers a service fee of at least $3,000 from the personal credit cards they obtained from the consumer. These seminars are all about extracting as much money from the consumer as possible. You will see this time and time again. What's worse is applying for credit cards in their personal names and not applying for business credit. These poor consumers were doomed from the start. Unbeknownst to the consumers, the Nevada Company keeps the nudge defendants updated as to the status of the consumer's credit card applications. The nudge defendants coordinated their sales pitches to consumers for additional services with the Nevada Company when the consumers obtain new credit cards. One of the reasons why you'll never see the cost of the training packages offered by the companies that operate these real estate seminars is because it's custom made to how much you can afford. They also know that their products cost way more than they should, so they wait until customers are at the event to prey on their emotions and vulnerabilities. In June 2017, a response employee emailed a principal of the Nevada Company asking for a breakdown of a consumer's available credit to use for another potential sale of a training package for nearly $30,000. You have an employee with the seminar company working with a customer of these seminars. In part 1, I shared how these employees were called mentors. This mentor was asking someone at the Nevada Company who was applying for the credit cards how much credit the customer would have so the seminar company could alter the price of the program. We are going to discuss an investment with consumer this evening after hours. The most it would be is $29,600. Could we get a breakdown of what cards to use? Please don't contact the client about the investment as we have not discussed it with them yet. Thanks. The two companies were working in tandem to get as much money out of the clients as possible. I don't know of any other business that figures out how much money the consumer has available before pitching their product and altering the price of the product to match what the customer can afford. The workshop speakers told consumers that if they purchased the advanced training packages, they would receive A, specialized non-public software that would enable consumers to find cash buyers and discounted properties. That was false. They would receive B, specialized access to mentors or experts who would answer all their questions and work with them to complete real estate deals. False again. They would receive C, access to exclusive deals at the Buying Summit events that included turnkey or cash flowing investment properties that had been fixed up and already had paying tenants in place. False for a third time. In numerous instances, the workshop speakers claim that the advanced trainings are part of an exclusive, proven system that has helped the speakers themselves and many students succeed quickly, and that even someone with no real estate experience can do at least one real estate deal a month and make money. The major fallacy with the idea of a proven system that's going to help you run your business is that the system does not have the one variable that matters most, the intangible experience factor. There's just something that you can't explain that goes with building something yourself that you can't fully pass on to your predecessor or to a customer. In numerous instances, the nudge defendant sales representatives at the workshop repeat and expand on these earnings claims when they meet privately with consumers during the workshop by telling consumers they will recoup the purchase price of the advanced trainings. I'm guessing the sales reps never saw the data that less than 1% of Nudge's customers ever made money after the trainings. It's not like they care anyway. These real estate seminar companies aren't in the business of real estate. They're in the business of selling customers the dream of getting rich in real estate. In addition, once the nudge defendants refer consumers during the workshop to the Nevada company for funding, the Nevada company representatives reinforce these earnings claims. This behavior is similar to influencers promoting scammy altcoins where they are financially incentivized for you to buy even though the influencer knows it's a scam. One of the most important skills in life is being able to understand people's incentives and how it relates to you. For example, the Nevada company representatives tell consumers during the credit card application process that the consumers could expect to earn thousands of dollars per deal or per month from the nudge defendant system, and even as much as $100,000 for the following year. Giving someone the outlier success story is really disingenuous. If less than 1% of people saw success following the trainings, then that's indicative of a terrible training program. The incentives of all of the companies associated in this business are to extract as much money as possible out of the consumers, even if it's to their own detriment. In numerous instances, the Nevada company representatives advise consumers to state on credit card applications that their projected income from their real estate investments would be $100,000 or more. The Nevada company documented these projections in ability to pay worksheets, which in many cases reflected over a 200% increase in the consumer's actual current income. How crazy is that? They influence consumers to state on credit card applications that their projected income would be more than twice their actual income because the proven system, validated by no one, was going to guarantee that they make $100,000 a year or more. Based on actual salary data and the mention that $100,000 would be twice the income, it's safe to assume that a majority of the attendees of these seminars and workshops earned under $45,000 per year. These scumbags were basically creating a personal finance conundrum where the customers would take on huge amounts of credit card debt that they couldn't afford. In January 2017, one of the nudge defendants executives emailed Sanderson, "We've heard from students that Nevada company is telling them to state larger incomes than the student really makes. Just curious if that is their practice." At least one person involved in this business recognized how bad this business practice was. Let's see how they responded. This practice continued for another year after this exchange and stopped only after the nudge defendants learned that they were the subjects of an FTC investigation. I bet you all wouldn't have guessed that they didn't stop. It was only when they were caught with their pants down. The nudge defendants' earnings claims are false. The overwhelming majority of consumers who purchase the advanced trainings do not earn substantial income. In most instances, consumers who purchase the advanced trainings make no money and do not recoup the cost of the advanced trainings. I can almost guarantee that a majority of the people who attend one of these workshops are out of the real estate game 1 year later. I run a meetup here in Vegas and have met many beginners in the real estate investing game. There have been a few who attended a Fortune Builders event, and it breaks my heart whenever I hear how much they were robbed for. How much they paid for the training. People who attend the advanced trainings from these seminars are almost guaranteed to fail simply because they're starting an already difficult game with their hands tied behind their back. It's equivalent to someone graduating from an expensive college with student loan debt after obtaining a cashier operator degree. There's too much debt to get started in real estate. For many consumers, their financial loss is not limited to the purchase amount paid for the workshop and advanced training. The nudge defendants continue to target consumers for additional sales even after they they paid for the advanced training. They just can't stop with their upsells. That's why I refer to the business model as the constant upsell. If you are ever curious about a business that preys on customers, this is the one. I have to cut the video short today because, ironically enough, I've got to get to a free real estate meetup that I'm hosting where you can learn all of these magical secrets that are apparently worth $45,000. This is the 4th or 5th time I've read through this lawsuit, and I'm still blown away by how awful it is. There will be a part 3 coming soon. Make sure to look out for it. Thanks for watching.